What's up, everybody? So apparently this guy kept a spreadsheet of every time his wife denied him sex, and recently found it in, I guess, one of my Facebook feeds. And it's actually really comical because, I mean, I've been married before and I know what it's like to be rejected. And it really, really sucks, especially when you're in love with this woman. You pledged your entire life to her, and all she does is reject you every single day and gives you an excuse for why she doesn't want sex. Now, if you as a woman didn't want sex to begin with, why didn't you just stay single and not ruin someone else's life? In my opinion, that's a huge offense. Like, I would not stand for that. Like, no. If you're not going to have sex with me and we're married, I'm getting a divorce. So, but I wanted to show it to you. This little spreadsheet is pretty comical, and maybe give you some either feedback or commentary on it. I don't know if you can see this or not, but let's see. Okay, so the first one says, this was dated, what was this dated? It looks like it was dated on June 3rd. So she said, I'm watching the show for June 3rd. The next day he asks again, and she says, I feel sweaty and gross, I need a shower. And says, did not shower until next morning. And then the next, well, it looks like 2 days later, June 6th, she didn't even have a verbal communication with him. And then June 9th, she says, I'm exhausted. And looks like she gave him sex on the 10th. She said yes, apparently, but who knows, man? She could have just laid there for his little 30 seconds that he wanted. And you know, who knows? She probably reluctantly gave him some that day. And then, let's see, June 11th, I'm still a bit tender from yesterday, is what she said. The next day, nonverbal. June 13th, she says, I'm trying to watch the movie. And then she fell asleep 15 minutes later. Let's see, June 16th, I'm too drunk and I ate too much. Let's see, 2 days later, I won't have time to get showered and ready for dinner. And then we were here, oh, he said we were 20 minutes early, excuse me. And then the 19th, she says, I just came back from the gym, I feel gross. And then he put a little note here saying didn't shower until next morning. And then the next day, another nonverbal. And then June 21st, I have to be up early. And then so on and so forth. And then the 27th. So it looks like she's just giving him sex like once every 10 to 15 days. Another one, she's like, I might be getting sick. I still don't feel 100%. I need a shower. I feel gross. I'm too tired. Yada, 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 yada. Sometimes being a guy is very, very frustrating. So yeah, as you can see, like, you know, this lady apparently didn't care one iota about her husband and compromise. So, you know, I don't know how common that is in marriage. Like, if like 90% of women do this or provide these excuses. But I'm pretty sure that once you have kids, it's like your sex life, I've heard, just goes down and doesn't even come back. So, you know, I feel very bad for those men. You know, I'm really sorry. You know, what you have is a selfish wife here, and she doesn't give two shits about your feelings. So, but she also needs to maybe understand what she's doing, and maybe she doesn't have a full grasp on how important sex is to you. So maybe you should try like explaining that to her once you sit down. Maybe not in the heat of the moment when you're trying to get some, but maybe like the next day, you know, sit her down and really explain it to her. Hey, Sweetheart, I know we've been married for quite some time now, and maybe it's not very important to you, but it is to me, and here's why. And really explain it to her that, hey, you know, in order for us to remain a happy married couple, in order for you as a wife to be happy with me, these are the things that need to happen. And part of that is us having intimacy, because without that, we should not even be married, to be honest. You know, maybe if you want to stick it out till the kids are grown, that's cool, you know, and I know the Bible has strict guidelines on marriage, but it also permits you to be single. So, you know, the Bible says, but and if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be married to her husband, or excuse me, be reconciled to her husband. So there is, and that's 1 Corinthians chapter 7. So there is some leeway here that if you want to be single, you can. And but obviously, of course, you know, the best option is to stick it out as best you can and try to work on it. But yeah, you just need to, I mean, if you're in that situation, you need to fully explain to her what she's doing. She is destroying her marriage by denying you sex. I'm sorry. I mean, unless that was what you signed up for as a man, that you signed up for marriage, with a loveless, sexless marriage, then you are entitled to that. I feel like you as a man are entitled to your spouse, and she needs to understand that. That's, you know, she needs to give you some. You understand? You can't force her, but you can give her an ultimatum and say, look, if we don't have intimacy in our marriage, I see us divorcing in the near future. So that's all I have. Thanks for listening.